and welcome back to the Two Barbarians. I'm Wade, and today I'm going to be reviewing the new Masters of the Universe Chronicles He-Man figure. Now, this is a figure I think everyone's been waiting for, and it's been out roughly about a week around most of the world now, and I want to compare it directly against some of the other He-Man figures I've got here, preferably the 7-inch scale, because that's what they actually are in line with. So I'm not going to touch on how it looks to the actual original figure or the Origins figure, because those are a different scale, different things. So I think the first thing you want to know when you see it is that the packaging, it's interesting. It's got our actor here playing He-Man. He is looking youthful and exuberant on there. The thing that interests me the most about this packaging is the little man on the bottom left-hand corner. I don't know whether that's supposed to be He-Man or some other blue thing, but it looks very much like a superhero. I don't know whether that's just a thing about Mattel itself. Hard to know. So we have the figure. Now, He-Man himself, he's roughly almost exactly the same height as the classics figure of He-Man. As you can see, a lot less buff, and that's exactly the same way that it is in the movie. He's just not as buff. So let's not dwell on that too much. Interestingly, the figure looks much better in person than I thought it did online. There's some very nice touches here. We have the soft goods skirt, and it's quite bendable really. It's really good, so you can move those legs around, as you can see, and it stays in one place. Unlike some of the earlier figures, like this classics figure, that has no give whatsoever on that actual soft plastic part there. It's actually firm plastic. Now, other parts of the figure that I really like, I always say that this looks like a sports bra that He-Man is wearing. It actually looks a little bit better in person. It's got this really nice translucent red cross on there. That's a really nice part that I like. They could have just painted that in, but it's really nicely sculpted in, and that translucent red, it actually does. It looks really cool. It's I'd almost say that's probably the most outstanding part of the figure. The look on his face, not the most heroic. He's not grimacing. There's no teeth showing. It's rather unusual, and there's no alternate heads. So what do we think about that? Interesting. He comes with his brown gauntlets, and he also has his brown boots. And the holder for the sword. Now, the sword itself is quite long. It's longer than the standard He-Man sword, the power sword, and that's probably not a surprise really. You know, I guess if you're actually in battle, you'd rather have a long sword. You can actually have a better reach with that one, so that's not surprising. Now, the posability on this figure is really good. The articulation is really good. You can see he bends really well. He hasn't got an ab crunch. It's actually fully movable around, same as the torso. It moves. So it gets him some really good poses. He can bend back, he can lean really forward, and the look on it, it stays good. And that sports bra, as I call it, that moves around nicely too. And you can get some really cool poses in there. It's got butterfly joints. They probably don't move as far left and right as you would want them to. Having said that, they're not bad, so you can get some good poses in there, and it doesn't distract too much. If you've got really, really long butterfly joints, it does detract a little bit from the figure because they just look out of place. You've got double articulation at the elbows and double articulation at the knee joints. And there's no ball joints exposed there. It's very nicely hidden there. So it makes one really cool posable figure. You can get up all sorts of things. You can do karate kicks if you really wanted to. You can do the classic sword poses like that, looking down. It's actually really posable. And that's something that the classics figures didn't really have a lot of. So, you know, while the stylings and designs are magnificent, I guess the articulation, it's aged a little bit, but it's still my favorite rendition of the classic version of He-Man. It's just so cool. So traditionally on the back of He-Man, you've generally got a sword holster at the back where you can slot in the sword. Here you've actually got a very nice holster specifically designed, and the sword just fits in there nicely like that. It's quite a good sheath. Maybe cooler to have a little bit of overhang there, so you could actually see a bit more realistic. Power sword fits in a couple of little bits of metal there. Not so sure on that, but it holds it very nicely. In real life, I'm not so sure. I think it probably needs a little bit extra on that, but action figure wise, it works well. So the only other accessories we get apart from the sword are two hands. You've got the closed fist, and then you've got the grasping hand there. So they come with the same ones. Interestingly, most of the hand and joints that we see, they generally have the socket attached to them, and you insert that into the hole. Here you've actually got the socket attached to the arm, and it goes in there. So that's quite interesting. Now I do like the fact that you can take off the gauntlets. That's a nice, really cool extra piece of design. That's something you'd normally expect from a figure at a higher price point, and that's something really cool that you don't know straight out of the box. So again, full kudos to Mattel for thinking of that. And again, I just popped the sword out of the sheath. That just shows you that maybe the design isn't that great. So I'm a little bit of a klutz sometimes, but even so, you wouldn't really want that. So how does it compare to the Dolph Lundgren He-Man? Well, you can probably see that Dolph is he's stacked, very much so, just like Conan in the movie. He's on the same base body essentially as most of the Super 7 figures. I really like this one here, this Dolph Lundgren character. It just pops. I really actually like the cape. I know He-Man doesn't traditionally wear a cape, but it just makes this figure pop really well. I quite like the ornate designs too. A lot of the armor plates and things, and the boots, I really think that makes it a nice cinematic feel. Not so fussed on his laser gun, but I really like this Dolph Lundgren design. I know the He-Man they're going for, they're trying to make it more traditional to the action figure and cartoon stylings, but I don't think anyone may have complained if they just added that little bit extra in there. Again, that skirt feels very sort of almost early Mondo He-Man actually. Now, in the absence of any female figures released in the Chronicles range so far, I have here a Red Sonja. And I think that goes quite well actually. He-Man's got a little bit more of a tan than Red Sonja, but Red Sonja is a really, really cool figure that you can compare along with a Barbarian. This is a higher price point figure, and when you look at it, you think that's really nicely done. Usual interchangeable hands, gauntlets, really cool there. But Mattel's they've done quite well. Probably the only thing lacking is the accessories. Interchangeable head would have been really good. The head's just a sort of a boring sort of look. I really just wish they'd give us interchangeable head. He's showing a bit of teeth, or he's like, ready for a fight. But again, that's something else that Mattel will probably release in the future. Probably for repaints. We know that they like to get a lot of bang for their buck from their sculpts. So there we have it. That's my quick review on the He-Man figure from the Chronicles line of the new movie. We're actually pretty excited to see this movie coming out now. I am more excited than what I thought I would be when I first saw it, the trailer. So I'm quite pumped now. So where does it rank in terms of these? In terms of the stylings, I have to say that I prefer the Dolph Lundgren figure and the original He-Man Classics figure, but this one here, it's got all the modern articulation, so I have to say it's probably actually a better figure, although I don't necessarily think that it's on a par with the design aesthetics and the looks. So, but that's a movie choice, right? You have to appreciate this figure for what it is. So really looking forward to seeing what else Mattel put out there with this, because it's a very nicely done figure for what you get for the bang for your buck. Now, I hope you enjoyed our quick video on the Masters of the Universe Chronicles He-Man figure. We've got lots more cool videos coming up, so if you enjoyed this one, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe buttons. We've got Lee back soon as well, so until then, the battle might be over, but our toy shelves remain legendary. Thank you.